Good day, and welcome to this GIS report. For the Governor's Group, I am Communications Officer Colleen Penn. Chevening is the United Kingdom's government's international award scheme, which aims to develop global leaders. The award offers a unique opportunity for future leaders, influencers, and decision makers from all over the world to develop professionally and academically. The program is funded by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office and partner organizations. Chevening offers two types of award, Chevening Scholarships and Chevening Fellowships. The recipients of these awards are personally selected by British embassies and high commissions throughout the world to pursue a year-long master's program. On today's report, we will speak with His Excellency the Governor, Mr. John S. Duncan OBE, who will highlight the significance of this learning opportunity, and two Virgin Islanders who are recipients of the scholarships under this award scheme. They are Attorney at Law and Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Ms. Fiona Forbes, and Associate Lawyer at Harney's, Mrs. Rhonda Hart-Smith. Governor, guests, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, it's such a pleasure to have you on the set today.
Pleasure to be here.
Now let's start with setting the objective of the program. The Chevening Scholarships have been offered to several persons throughout the world. What is the objective of the United Kingdom's government with regards to this program?
Well, it's, as you say, it's been going for many years, and the purpose is to develop the new leaders for the future and to have a relationship with them. The United Kingdom has some of the best universities in the world. If you look at the top 20 universities in the League of Universities, you'll find it's full of UK universities. So we want both to give people that experience, but we also want to create a relationship with those people who are going to be the future leaders of their countries. And as you said, it's often the high commissions and embassies that look for these people, but also governors' offices are part of that exercise, and we want to be encouraging the leadership of the future to take part in this learning opportunity.
Why is it important that leaders get the requisite training and development necessary in order to perform their functions well?
Well, about a week ago, I called together a lot of the people who are currently leaders of the society and former alumni of the Chevening process. And I said to them, look, as governor, I want to make sure that we develop the leadership of the future. In 20 years' time, the leaders of the territory, well, we hope anyway, will have moved on to a happy retirement. And who are those people who are going to be the next generation of leaders of the community? And we need to think in a very structured way. BVI government has its own scholarship for younger people, but we're looking at the mid-career person who is going to be a future leader, whether it's in the public or the private sector. And as governor, I see that as a really important task, that we reach out with the leadership of the current leadership of the community, and we try to identify who might those people be. Let's give them this experience. Let's give them the possibility to develop professionally or personally. And Chevening is a really good way to achieve that. And I was very pleased that the people who came to that meeting, including people like Robert Matavius, who've been alumni himself of the Chevening program, were very much up for working together to try and help the next generation of leaders and help them get onto this Chevening Scholarship Scheme.
Thank you so much for that, Governor. Now, we have on our set the two Virgin Islanders who are recipients, Ms. Fiona Forbes, Ms. Hart-Smith. Welcome again once more to the program. Ms. Forbes, let me start with you. Tell us about this experience. You are a recipient of the Chevening Scholarship. What was that like for you?
It was a wonderful experience. I received the scholarship for the 2013-2014 year. And I chose to study at the Queen Mary University of London at the Center of Commercial and Legal Studies. And the experience was an excellent experience, not only because the university that I chose to go to catered to international students and so exposed me to British culture and so on, but because Chevening itself put together a lot of programs so that I can again get that exposure of British culture and that I could meet other Chevening recipients from all across the globe. And so that was excellent. And even now, as a Chevening recipient, I'm a part of that alumni, and I get updates, and we have a Facebook page that's private to us. So I feel like I'm a part of a very elite club of persons, and it's been a really wonderful experience.
Ms. Hart-Smith, share with us a bit about your experience.
Well, I studied in Scotland at the Glasgow Caledonian University. In 2000 to 2001, I pursued a master's in development management, and too, like Ms. Forbes said, it was a wonderful experience. The cultural heritage, the rich cultural heritage, the ability to travel Europe, visit major organizations like the OECD, EU Parliament in Brussels and so forth as part of my program. It made it really enriching for me.
The application process, you heard it's international, persons around the world can apply for the Chevening Scholarships. How is that applying? What did you have to do? Where do you go? Ms. Forbes.
The application process was completely online. So I went to the Chevening site. It was interesting as well because I saw the ad for the scholarship, the advertisement for the scholarship online, one of the online papers, and I clicked on it and it took me straight to the Chevening site. And so the application process was completely online, very user-friendly. It allowed me to save the application so I didn't have to complete the entire application in one sitting. I didn't have to submit any documents at that time when I completed the application. I was given an application number and told that I would be contacted after. So the application process was pretty straightforward and easy.
As it relates to the financial part of the scholarship, Ms. Hart-Smith, what was that like? Were your costs, as a recipient of the scholarship, were your costs completely covered?
Yes, at the time when I received the scholarship, everything was covered, straight from winter clothing. I received a monthly stipend.
Which you would need in Scotland.
Yes, of course. There was direct payment of my tuition and room and board. And like Ms. Forbes said, there was trans and just the organization by the British Council, the opportunity to meet with several other British Chevening scholars at the time. So everything was covered.
Was it the same for you as well, Ms. Forbes?
No, I should have applied when Ms. Smith did. For me, the scholarship covered the tuition, which was paid directly to the university, and I was given a monthly stipend. I had to cover accommodation on my own, but I know there were persons who were able to get into sort of a shared sort of situation with housing and so on. They used the allowance for the part of that, but it was tuition and the monthly allowance.
So if Chevening Scholarship wasn't available, did you think your dreams of attending your master's would have been possible?
I think yes. I think I had always intended to do postgraduate studies. Had it not been for Chevening, I would have had to fund it on my own, and more than likely I would have had to work while I was doing that. But Chevening certainly took that burden away, and it made it easier for me. And I think the burden of financial burden sort of takes away from your university experience sometimes, because you're so worried about, how am I going to budget for this? Where's this money coming from for that? And because that was not a care, it allowed me sort of to be freer. I don't know how to express it any better than that. But it certainly was a freeing experience for me, knowing that financially that burden was not there. And so I was able to fully enjoy that experience, not only the studying subjects which I enjoyed, which had international and, of course, local relevance, but also the ability to travel. Europe was very accessible and so on. So Chevening made my studies in London just exceptional.
I think Ms. Forbes has hits on some very important points there. Having just put two of my children through university, one in the United States and one in the United Kingdom. Both of them are very expensive. So anything that helps reduce the cost and allow someone to benefit from the wider experience is really, really important. And I think, as she was saying, that Chevening has a structured, wider experience, access to privileged access to institutions which you would not necessarily, as a normal student, get access to. So it's really a very wide experience. And I think that's something that's really important for the BVI. We have a very talented group of young people and people coming through the system. The BVI government system will take you up to undergraduate level, but this is the next step. If you want to do a master's, Chevening is a good way of doing that, and it gives you this much broader experience. So it's quite unique. There are 8 scholarships available for the Caribbean region every year. That's the overseas territories in the Caribbean region. We haven't managed to be getting as many of those as we should. And I think what would be helpful would be people who are interested would contact the alumni, because as you asked, in every application, it's difficult to know what the person at the other end wants to hear. Now, here we have 2 successful alumni of the process, and other alumni have said they're very willing to help people who want to do this, to apply, to answer the questions in the best possible manner, and then from there be successful applicants. If you don't get it this year, come and talk to them, because they will help. And if we can gradually build up so that BVI gets the majority of those 8 places, that's what my aim is, to see BVI right up there where it deserves to be, with our talented people taking advantage of the Chevening process.
I think that's important to highlight. We really should help empower people more to take advantage of these opportunities, because the territory will be the one to benefit in the long run. Ms. Hart-Smith, I want to question you a bit about, you spoke about the experience and the culture and the richness of that. How was it studied in Scotland, just in a general perspective? And while you're speaking about that, I'm going to talk about leadership next, but just about Scotland itself and being able to have that opportunity to go to Scotland, to see Scotland, to explore that part of the world.
You know, Scotland is not somewhere that I would have chosen, and the scholarship has come a long way from, you know, the central application process which exists now for UK universities. It wasn't in place at the time, and so I did not have a confirmed placement when I applied for the scholarship, but the British Council, the British Chevening Scholarship, in its connection, connected me to the Glasgow Caledonian University. Strangely enough, I was the only Caribbean student on my program, lots of students from Africa and Asia, but you know, being able to listen to the perspectives, to compete on the same level with students from all over the globe, to study subjects like change management, which at the time I had recently began to assist before leaving Lorna Smith, as she implemented a public service development program to put persons next in line, succession planning in the government service. All these things were interesting to me. And Scotland, as you know, has a rich cultural heritage. I was able to visit numerous places, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and just take it all in, along with the educational experience.
Now, when I researched Chevening, I saw leadership, preparing persons to take on a leadership role. How is it that this opportunity allows the recipients to take on greater leadership responsibility? Ms. Forbes.
Well, the scholarship is for postgraduate studies, and so already at a postgraduate level, you are expected to do a lot of work by yourself. Yes, there are lectures and so on, but it's a lot of self-study, and so there's a certain level of discipline that's involved in that process in achieving a master's degree. So that is one aspect of it. I think the other aspect as well is meeting persons from all across the globe. And as a leader, you will encounter persons from different walks of life, and it is incumbent on you to sort of learn how to deal with these different persons from different backgrounds and different cultures and different languages. And so as a Chevening scholar, and the opportunity that you get for exposure from Chevening, you meet these persons from their different walks of life and so on. And when you converse with them, you realize that you may have been looking at a particular issue in a certain way, never having thought about it in a different light or in a different dynamic. And so that is what it brings to you as a leader. It opens your eyes to different possibilities, different perspectives. And I do believe that there's nothing new under the sun. What I chose to study, there were other scholars who chose to study the same thing. And I'm in contact with them. We do have a network. And so I like the fact that I can send one of my colleagues an email and say, listen, I'm having an issue here. I don't know how to address this. What do you think about this? And get that feedback. And I think that as a leader is just so instrumental. And so I think it does prepare you for that. That self-study teaches you discipline, the exposure that you get to other persons, to other walks of life. And I think the academic experience is excellent, but that just life experience and learning experience helps you to be a more well-rounded leader.
Ms. Hart-Smith, your thoughts relate to the leadership component being a Chevening recipient.
On my return to the BVI, I took up the post of Deputy Registrar at the college, and shortly thereafter I took the role of Registrar and Director of Enrollment Management. This put me, of course, in a leadership role as pertains to higher education in the BVI, being the only tertiary education provider stationed here apart from the outpost of UE. The accreditation process, providing leadership for the roles of admission, retention of students, putting those plans in motion, getting the community involved in seeing the benefit of the H. Lavistel Community College. All these things are skills that I was able to receive and hone as a result of the scholarship and my studies of development management under the British Chevening Scholarship.
Governor, why do you think it's important that that level of leadership is here present in our territory?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, leadership is fundamentally about judgment. It's about exercising judgment, taking decisions. It's also about showing the way. But as Ms. Forbes was saying, in order to exercise good judgment, you need to be able to have a breadth of vision. You need to be able to take in information from a variety of different people and points of view and pull that together and take an effective decision. We won't always get it right, but that's essentially the process. And learning that process when you're of the age of a Chevening scholar is really important, because it allows people to start building and getting to a point where they will be the future leaders. It's sort of groundwork for being a leader. And I think it's also important to stress that it doesn't matter what field of study you are looking at. We can see the leaders of this community today and from the past. We've mentioned Laverty Stout and his influence in the community, an immense influence. Currently we have leaders who are from the medical profession, we have people from the legal profession, we have people who've been architects. It doesn't matter what academic study you are doing in the Chevening process or more generally. If you're going to be a leader, it's that exposure to wider ways of thinking, other cultures, that actually starts people on that path to being leaders of the future. And the community has the talent. This is a very talented community, and we need to give people as much exposure to that so that we continue to be this vibrant democracy that the BVI is today, and it looks forward 20 years to the future.
Brilliant. And just so that everyone is clear, it doesn't matter what discipline, what program, Chevening, once you apply, you're eligible.
Exactly. And we hope that this year we'll get more than we got last year. And if people don't succeed this year, don't get put off. Come and talk to the alumni. Do it again. and let's try next year, see if we can get more. But I'm, with the alumni that I met last week, I'm inspired by the talent that's here and the willingness to help others coming up the chain, as it were, to get next year and the year after. BVI should be up there at the top of the scholarship program.
Very important.
Indeed.
As we close today's program, I'd like to give each of you, my guests, a chance to say your final thoughts with regards to your experience or just about the Chevening Scholarship in general. Ms. Forbes?
Thank you. Well, I want to take this opportunity to just encourage and invite other BVI lenders to apply. I am a champion of the Chevening Scholarship. I meet people in the nail salon and I tell them about Chevening and I encourage them to apply, and I've spoken to my friends about it. And if there are any questions you have and I can help, feel free to stop me in the supermarket or anywhere you see me, and persons have done so if you want to discuss it and discuss the process. Or if you need me to help, persons have asked me to review their essay that they have to submit and so on. I'm willing to help. And I just want you to look at this scholarship and see yourself as a recipient. Envision it happening, it will happen. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain.
Thank you so much, Ms. Forbes. Ms. Hart-Smith?
It's important for persons within the BVI community to recognize their potential impact on the community and the potential for their contribution, not just as support personnel, but as leaders, like we've been saying all along. The British Chevening Scholarship presents an opportunity for persons to join persons of great influence all across the globe: China, Hong Kong, India, Caribbean, BVI. And if you see yourself within that leadership capacity, I encourage you to apply and put yourself forward, because you, in order to take up that leadership role, you need to prepare. This is one way of preparing yourself. And so I encourage everyone who qualifies to apply for the scholarship.
Thank you so much. Governor?
Well, you've heard it from the community. I can't put it better than that. This is the beginning of a process of making sure that BVI is up there getting as many scholarships as we can manage. So Fiona's offered to help. Others have also, including Robert Matavius, have offered to help. And we'll be doing a program of events during the next 3 years as I work as my position as governor, to try and help people. So this is really the beginning of that process of explaining to people there is this opportunity, BVI needs to engage with it. We need the young leaders, the future leaders, to come forward and benefit from it.
Thank you so much, Governor, for your words. Thank you so much, guests, for your words as well.
Thank you, Colin.
Chevening offers a unique opportunity for future leaders, influencers, and decision makers from all over the world to develop professionally, academically, to network extensively, experience the United Kingdom's culture, and build lasting positive relationships with the UK. Local records indicate that 13 Virgin Islanders have benefited from this experience. And if you are interested, there's no better time than now to advance your career. It's open to any master's level program in any discipline from any university in the United Kingdom. Follow the instructions and apply online at www.chevening.org by November 3rd for consideration for the 2016-2017 academic school year. It will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Once again, I'd like to thank my guests for joining me today, and I'd like to thank you, the listening audience, for tuning in to this report. For the Governor's Group, I am Communications Officer Colleen Penn.